I greet you viewers. You are welcome to the Genevieve Kibbumba YouTube channel. Today, I'm talking about GEHAZI, the servant. The first time we hear about GEHAZI in the Bible is when he's Elisha's servant. Elisha was Elijah's servant and faithful servant before Elijah was taken away or before he died. He was the last person to see his master Elijah alive. He heard the last words of Elijah, that is Elisha. And the last words were, "If you see me go, your prayer will be answered as you wish." Elisha saw Elijah being taken away in a whirlwind, so he got his prayer answered. The prayer had been for a double portion of Elijah's spirit to be upon Elisha. They too had crossed the Jordan River together. Elisha had seen Elijah smite the water with his mantle, and the water parted, and they crossed. As the chariots of fire took Elijah, the mantle fell off him, and Elisha picked it. Elisha took Elijah's mantle and returned where he had come from. When he reached the Jordan, he smote the water with Elijah's mantle, saying, "Where is the God of Elijah?" And the water parted. This means that he had received a double portion of Elijah's spirit. The Bible does not tell us at what point Elisha calls GEHAZI. And this GEHAZI, at the beginning, he's a very good servant. He wakes up early and looks at the environment. And it was at one of those moments that he woke up early and saw the two having been surrounded by a certain strange army. He made an alarm to his master, and his master sorted the issue out. So GEHAZI did not understand his master. He did not know how close God was with them. He was close to Elisha, yes, and would have been a successor of Elisha, just as Elisha succeeded Elijah. He was meant to get a double portion of Elisha's spirit if he was faithful to the end. But GEHAZI, the servant, was critical of his master Elisha. He thought he was wiser than his master. He thought his master needed a double portion of his spirit instead. He criticized GEHAZI, for not receiving Naaman's gifts. It hurt GEHAZI so much. He said to himself, "If my master does not need these things, I need them." In one of the local languages, they say, "Sisobola kusuula kabonero wano," meaning I cannot miss it here. That cost him a lot when Elisha found out what had happened. He lost his position as a servant of the most prominent prophet of the time. He lost the protection that was on Elisha, which had been extended to him. He lost the opportunity to be prayed for by Elisha that God may help him. He lost to witness the departure of Elisha as Elisha had witnessed the departure of Elijah. He lost the opportunity to pick up Elisha's mantle at his death, as Elisha had picked up Elijah's mantle at his death. He lost the opportunity to hear the last words of Elisha at his death. He lost most of all the opportunity to receive a double portion of Elisha's spirit. As Elisha had received a double portion of Elijah's spirit, he missed to be a great man of God of his time. GEHAZI would have been more prominent than Elisha with a double portion of his spirit, which would make him a prophet with 4 times the portion of Elijah's spirit. Elijah was in 1 Kings. Elisha was in 2 Kings from chapter 1 to chapter 13, and Gehazi should have taken up 2 Kings from chapter 13 to chapter 25, but he missed it. He's not among the prophets. Elisha's last words were to Joash the king, not to Gehazi the servant. He empowered the king and not Gehazi the servant. Gehazi's fate affected his children and their children. He inherited a curse, not a blessing, after serving a man of God. Just as Jacob's brother Esau sold his birthright because of a morsel of bread, Gehazi sold his inheritance because of 2 talents of silver and 2 garments. Gehazi lost what nobody in their normal sense would desire to lose. Gehazi lost a biblical position of a prophet. He should have been one of the greatest prophets in the Bible. He lost the title Prophet Gehazi or Gehazi the prophet. He did not become a prophet, neither did he remain a servant. He became a leper and died a leper. Gehazi the servant, now Gehazi the leper. He should have inherited a blessed position, but he inherited leprosy. A wicked man leaves leprosy for his children's children. The leprosy of Naaman clung to Gehazi and to his seed forever. Gehazi, the servant of Elisha.